Got anything on you?
I'm at my house.
Okay, I don't know. I'm asking you. Gotta ask you. Who was in the car?
This is my car. She took my car.
Who's she to you?
We'll just be right here. My child mother.
Oh, okay. All right.
The victim reported sustaining minor injuries, including visible bruising to her left arm at the time the report was made, and she sought medical attention.
3 serious charges like that, I mean, felony charges, you're obviously potentially looking at prison time and years in prison. And this is something that Gervonta Davis is now going to have to deal with as
a new wave of online chatter has put Gervonta "Tank" Davis under intense scrutiny, as reports circulate claiming body cam footage from his arrest has surfaced, triggering speculation across social media and boxing forums. But here's the key detail many posts blur. Multiple credible clips and articles describe the footage as police body cam video making the rounds, not an official FBI release. As the video spread, fans and commentators are dissecting every frame, debating what it means for Davis's public image and what could happen next.
Where did she live? I don't know how that address.
Recent reporting indicates that Miami Gardens police obtained a judge-signed arrest warrant for Gervonta "Tank" Davis tied to an alleged domestic violence incident reported in October 2025. Multiple outlets describe the warrant as seeking charges that include battery, false imprisonment, and attempted kidnapping, and note that police have publicly acknowledged the warrant and efforts to locate him.
2025 at approximately 2:15 p.m., the victim entered the Miami Gardens Police Department accompanied by her attorney to report an incident that occurred on October 27, 2025. At the time of the incident, the victim was employed at a local gentleman's club located within the city of Miami Gardens. According to the victim's statement, at approximately 4:15 a.m. while working, she was approached by Mr. Davis. The victim was approached by Mr. Davis. The victim reported that Mr. Davis grabbed her by her back of her head, pulling her by her hair with one hand and by her throat with the other. He forcefully escorted her down a stairway and toward the parking garage while maintaining his grip on the back of her head. Upon reaching the parking garage, the victim reported that Mr. Davis released her, at which point she was able to run towards her co-workers for safety. The victim reported sustaining minor injuries, including visible bruising to her left arm at the time the report was made.
The woman who reported the October 2025 incident is identified in court filings as Davis's ex-girlfriend, Courtney Rossell. In reporting summarized by major outlets, authorities say she had previously been in an intimate relationship with Davis, and that the alleged incident occurred about 1 month after the relationship ended. Separately, Miami Gardens police said at a news conference that the woman had known Davis since 2022 and that their relationship had ended roughly a month before the alleged incident, adding that investigators reviewed surveillance video that they say corroborates key elements of her account.
The victim further reported that she has known Mr. Davis since 2022, and they were previously involved in an intimate relationship for approximately 5 months, which ended about a month prior to the incident. She stated she had blocked all forms of communication with Mr. Davis after the relationship ended. During the course of the investigation, lead detective Gary Florencio obtained and reviewed video surveillance footage that corroborates key elements of the victim's statement. As a result of the diligent and hard work of our Special Victims Unit, an arrest warrant has been issued for Gervonta Bryant Davis on the following charges: battery, false imprisonment, and attempted kidnapping. The investigation determined that Mr. Davis used force to restrain and attempt to remove the victim from the location against her will. The victim was only able to escape when Mr. Davis released him.
Apparently, Gervonta "Tank" Davis has not turned himself in, and Miami Gardens police say they are actively working to locate and apprehend him, including working with the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force, according to multiple reports.
Annalise, Eric, the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force and Miami Gardens Police are currently searching for Gervonta "Tank" Davis, the professional boxer who has a history of domestic violence charges. In this latest case, he has not yet turned himself in to authorities. Now, at last update, Davis is still not in custody. Local 10 did reach out to attorneys representing Davis to find out if or when he plans to turn himself in. So far, we've not received.
A widely cited timeline of Davis's run-ins with the law includes a 2019 misdemeanor assault case that was later dismissed, a 2020 simple battery domestic violence charge in Coral Gables, and a December 2022 domestic violence arrest in Broward County, where prosecutors later dropped the charges after the alleged victim declined to press charges, according to ESPN's timeline. Beyond domestic allegations, Davis also faced legal consequences tied to a 2020 hit-and-run in Baltimore. ESPN reports he was sentenced to 90 days of house arrest and later taken into custody during that period, part of the same broader stretch of legal complications that's been referenced again in current coverage more recently. Reporting around the new Miami Gardens warrant also notes this history in context, including prior domestic violence cases and the earlier hit-and-run sentencing.
One of the most exciting and ferocious fighters in the world, bar none, just period, full stop. But there's always something like this that Gervonta is seemingly dealing with. I mean, he's 30-0-1. He had one draw against Lamont Roach. He's got 28 knockouts. I mean, he virtually knocks out, just spark out cold everyone he fights, but he's got these things that happen to him, and it's already cost him in a massive way financially. The Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight was not ever supposed to happen. That was obviously, like Lucas said, supposed to be Tank. But Jake has to pull out because he gets accused of these really horrible things. And now it just got a whole lot more serious because, look, you could argue Gervonta can afford to lose the money. He's done tremendously well for himself. But when you're talking about 3 serious charges like that, I mean, felony charges, you're obviously potentially looking at prison time and years in prison. And this is something that Gervonta Davis is now going to have to deal with as the U.S. Marshals, like Lucas also said, on his heels, trying to track him down, trying to throw those cuffs on.
Davis's legal history stretches back nearly a decade, but it's important to keep the timeline straight. Multiple reports reference a 2017 case in which Davis was accused of first-degree aggravated assault involving a longtime/childhood friend, not first-degree aggression. Separately, the Jake Paul bout was canceled years later because a civil lawsuit filed by Courtney Rossell and related allegations surfaced shortly before the scheduled event. According to major coverage, that lawsuit and the fallout around it was the immediate reason the fight was called off, not the older 2017 allegation.
We've seen him in a domestic violence situation. He's been arrested multiple times in the past, and now he's got new problems because the 26-year-old has been hit with 14.
On an episode of the Last Stand podcast with Brian Custer, Gervonta "Tank" Davis briefly lowered the guard that fans usually see on fight night. Instead of the usual bravado, Davis spoke in a more vulnerable tone, giving listeners a rare glimpse of the person behind the reputation and showing that the intensity people associate with Tank is paired with real emotion and personal weight that doesn't always make it into the spotlight.
I wish that people knew about Gervonta "Tank" Davis that maybe they don't understand.
I'm funny. I'm fun to be around. I'm human. I'm not somebody that's feel as though that's like when I say bougie or stuck up or anything like that. I feel as though a lot of people see that they go off my my boxing, how I am in a ring, and they use that as of
How they make judgment on you.
Yeah, how they make judgment on me. I feel as though that I'm much more of a person than just a boxer. You know what I mean? I feel as though I'm not somebody that's just mean or stuck up 24/7.
Yeah.
That's just me in the ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Davis has publicly acknowledged that anger control has been a real issue for him, and in past interviews he's described taking steps to address it rather than ignoring it. In one widely circulated write-up referencing an interview with Brian Custer on the Last Stand podcast, Davis is quoted describing his mindset at the time, "I was just mad," and pointing to seeking professional help to manage his emotions. In that same spirit, Davis has framed boxing as an outlet, but not a solution by itself, suggesting he understands that staying out of trouble requires structure, accountability, and guidance away from the ring as well.
Car get into a Camaro and flee from the crash scene, which is illegal. That's a hit and run. You're not allowed to do that. Meanwhile, the 4 people in the car that was hit in the accident, like I said, were all hospitalized for their injuries. So there was an investigation that's been going on because this incident went down in November 5th, just days after Gervonta's big knockout victory over Leo Santa Cruz, a sensational performance by Gervonta Davis. So officials have been investigating. They say they have video, they have witnesses, and they have hit him with 14 criminal charges, including hit and run, including driving on a suspended license, and several more. And if convicted on all counts, this is the important part, he could go to prison for more than 7 years. Gervonta Davis, 26 years old, in the prime of his career, could go to prison for 7 years for this. This is a big deal, guys.
Yeah, this is a big deal, and all I think about is the fact that he's constantly been getting in trouble, and so sometimes these things catch up with you. Fleeing a site, I mean, with your actual car there, I don't know how he thought he was going to get away with that because the car's still there, but just for people that are, when there's smoke, there's fire, and as you said, he's had so many different instances, so you kind of figured at a certain point things would catch up with him.
Yeah, look, these are very serious charges. I feel bad that the people got hurt. Ultimately, and this is just a prediction here, I think that Gervonta Davis, he just has so much money behind him and so much money he could
Miami Gardens police say they are actively working with the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force to locate and apprehend Gervonta "Tank" Davis after an arrest warrant was issued. Authorities have framed the joint effort as part of their process to track him down and take him into custody. Police have also said their investigation included reviewing surveillance video, and that the footage corroborates key elements of the reported account.
They are working now with the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force to locate and arrest Gervonta Davis. This doesn't just happen automatically. When someone has an active warrant and law enforcement believes they may be difficult to locate, avoiding contact, or capable of crossing jurisdictions, U.S. Marshals are often brought in. For you guys wondering, what exactly do the U.S. Marshals do? I got you. They are the oldest federal law enforcement agency in the country, operating under the Department of Justice, and they specialize in the following: tracking and arresting fugitives, assisting with high-profile warrants, running joint task forces with local police, protecting federal courts and judges. So when the marshals get involved, it's not like some small thing. It signals that authorities are treating the situation with a...
This latest warrant isn't happening in a vacuum, because before it, Tank had already dealt with a separate arrest connected to earlier allegations. And that earlier case sparked reaction well outside boxing, including from actor and martial artist Michael Jai White, who weighed in publicly on the situation. Coverage of Davis's prior legal issues, along with the reported details that circulated at the time, has been documented by major outlets like ESPN. In one widely shared clip, Michael Jai White said he was both surprised and disappointed that a fighter known for discipline and training could be linked to something so serious. He emphasized a clear principle: violence against women is never acceptable, and warned that fame, money, and athletic success don't excuse harmful behavior. White also used the moment as a broader reminder: what happens outside the spotlight can permanently reshape a public figure's reputation, no matter how great they are in their profession. He ultimately framed it as an accountability issue, arguing that athletes and celebrities live under greater scrutiny, and that public opinion can become its own kind of courtroom once stories like this go viral. If you love boxing, powerful punches, and real fight breakdowns, make sure to subscribe to VIP Punch. Hit the like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and share this video with true boxing fans. VIP Punch, where every punch matters.